Yo, what's up guys? Happy New Year's, Fpv here, and today's video is just a video showing what kind of gear I'm going to be flying this year. And I've realized, I built a lot of drones throughout the time, and one thing that I never really did was just focus on specific drones to kind of, like hone my skills. I like to always switch it up, keep myself guessing on like how my drones fly, also just to make sure they're all working properly. But this year I'm going to change it up. I'm going to pick some specific quads to use and focus on them, make sure they're super reliable, so no matter when I go out, whatever I do, they're going to fly perfectly fine. So let's just hop right into it. We're going to start with my first one that is the motivation to get me my Part 107 license. This is my new Cinewoop frame that I built myself, and it is honestly one of my new favorite ones to fly. I forgot how fun it is to fly a Cinewoop around and just cruise and everything. So I mean, I went from a beta 85X or 95X, one or the other, and it was like right when digital was coming out, so it didn't fly the best. It wasn't like super amazing. So my experience with Cinewoops was kind of just meh. I don't like them. It don't fly right. With this quad though, I was able to take a couple test flights out, and it was freaking amazing the way this thing flies. It's got the agility, it's got the movement, it's got everything in a little, like, small, compact form factor, which is awesome. I built it off of 6S so I can get that extra boost on it, and I know some people say you don't really need 6S for the Cinewoops, but I haven't had a 6S Cinewoop before. I had a 4S one that barely flew like a minute or two. Now I have this one, which has more efficiency, probably a longer flight time. I still need to test out the flight times. I tried doing one, didn't have the timer set, and then got interrupted by somebody, and they just wanted to ask about drones, which is pretty awesome. I think that's amazing. Here's a little clip of it. Back to this drone though, the components that I have in here are going to be a T-motor 45 amp all-in-one flight controller, AIO whoop board or whatever you call those. And then I chose the T-motor 2004 1700 kV motors, which I find to be freaking amazing. My first experience with 2004 motors, and I gotta say I'm really impressed with how these things pick up and fly around. And of course this year I have started to migrate everything to Walksnail, so of course this will have the new Walksnail V2 VTX with the dual antennas and the Pro Cam in the front. And the reason why I'm going with this is because I have the Goggles X, and I want to migrate all my things to a different digital system because I like Walksnail. It's fun. It's not the best, never gonna say it is the best, but for me, I really like it, and I'm enjoying it every single time I go out and fly with it. Now, this quad is, of course, my motivation to get good at cinematic stuff, flying around people, flying around objects, flying around cars, all that stuff, and I want to actually try and get my Part 107 license this year so I can get a little bit of commercial work going. I'm not too sure like how much I want to do this year. I really do want to work on some things, and I believe like I'll have some stuff in the works if this all, if everything works out. I'm pretty sure I'll get some things going, but I'm just, this is hype. I'm really excited, and just practicing with this one alone will get me motivation enough to study, do all those things and everything. So cheers to that. This quad is amazing, and it's fun, and it's just, yeah. We'll just put it over there now. For freestyle and just in general chasing stuff, I chose two different 5-inch quads that have been pretty nice, and I've had no issues with them whatsoever. So first one is going to be this one, which is my Apex frame with the Brain FPV Radix 2 flight controller and Hobbywing 60 amp ESC. This quad has gone through the works. It has been years and years of fiddling and messing around to get it to work really nice. And honestly, the only things that I changed in this were the motors and the VTX. So before, the motors were some Axis Flying 2010 kV motors, and then just a regular CATX Vista video system. And it was more of my super hard spangy quad, which I added 2 capacitors on it just because I knew with the 2010s it's going to take up a lot more juice and stuff, so I wanted to be able to compensate for that. So it was really nice to fly for a bit, but then I stopped flying it because it was just too much power. I didn't know what to do with it. It was just it used to be called the Beast, I think, or something like that. But now what I did was switch to the Axis Flying C246 motors, which are 2406 with the 1850 kV motors. These have so much control, so much that I honestly like feel like I'm flying a flight simulator sometimes with this quad. But the tune and everything on this has been set to where I have complete control over it. And now this year I want to just have so much control that like I'll be able to do things that I didn't think I can do with this one. And of course, I have Walk Snail V2 with the dual antenna in here. This one just has the V2 camera, so this one really is more dedicated towards like freestyle stuff, because the V2 camera I find to have a lot more fun just because it has the actual 4.3 aspect in it, and I love flying 4.3 with freestyle because I don't know, it's just how I started with it, so I just keep going with it. As for a backup quad, I have this one. This one is my Blackbird V3 Motors version, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's a quad, and it's really nice. This one has the Holy Bro Kakute H7 with the Teco 55 amp board in there. And then, of course, I have the V2 VTX. This is the version 1 with the single antenna, and this one comes with the Pro Cam. I chose the Pro Cam for this one just because this thing has a lot of power to it, just for 1975 kV motors with the Blackbird ones, but I believe there's like a specific stator size for this, so it pushes. I honestly don't need that much throttle to like get this thing going, so I'm gonna use this one as more of like a chase quad to get more of those nice footage things and stuff. So this one is also a backup just in case if this quad breaks, I can use this one to still fly around and all that and not have to worry about anything. Last but not least, I have my 7-inch quad, which I gotta say this was the worst experience, best experience that I've ever had with a quad, and it's been a long time coming to get this thing working, but this is it. I made a video on it recently about my issues and everything with it, but this is the Apex 7-inch long-range dead cat with the, what is it? Sticks, bars, hold it together, make it solid, thing like that. Now, the journey to get this quad working took about a year to do, just because when I first got it, I had like just, I had components that were working, but for some reason, they just didn't want to work on here. The tunes were terrible. Everything was vibrating. Could not get it to like oscillations on throttle every single time, no matter what I did. So I put it on the back burner, let it chill for a long time, like 6 months. Then after 6 months, I went back to it, tried to figure it out, didn't figure it out. So I took some components out, switched them out. I was using Hobbywing stuff earlier on this one, and it just didn't want to work. Like, no matter what I did, no matter what tune, no matter what ESC, PWM frequencies, all that stuff, just wasn't working. So now I have another Holy Bro Kakute H7 stack with the Teco 55 in there, just because that was a very reliable stack, and I honestly think that this one needs like a really good stack in it just for it to work. So H7, you can't go wrong with that. It's a really good processor. And the one thing that really helped was just watching a bunch of videos on how to figure out tuning and getting everything looking nice and clean. So after like another 3 or 4 months, it finally was somewhat working. So I had hope. I kept going for it. I kept working on it. And eventually, another 2 months go by, it finally flies. And the only issue that I have is I can only carry like smaller batteries on here. So like a GMB 2600 I can carry. I have a 3000 or 3300 battery, which I could probably strap at the bottom, but I have a feeling doing that I'm going to have issues with tuning, and I already got this tuned down to the right spot, so I'm just going to stick with 2600 batteries. I'll get a couple more for it, but this drone is dedicated for more of those like bigger shots and stuff, like if I need to get like a mountainside view shot or anything like that. I do need to add a GPS still, which will happen eventually. But this will be my kind of like, big cinematic, go skydiving kind of stuff like that. And also just probably like outdoor chasing and things like that for like big open air spots, not like any kind of small areas. I'll use those for like the 5-inch quads. But yeah, this one is going to be my fun cinematic Diver. To finish all this off, I'm just going to be talking about the video stuff that I'll be using, goggles and controllers. So right now I am using the new Avatar Walk Snail Goggles X, which are awesome. They have had some issues when they first released, of course. Everyone probably knows the whole story behind it and all that now, but let's get past that. We're into the part now where they're actually trying to get things working, and they do work amazing. I haven't had really many issues, probably like one thing here and there, but that's just because it was just like a glitch and everything. But still, I'm going to find these to be really good, especially with the new 4K camera that just released, the new 4K Moonlight. That's going to look amazing with these goggles on here. And then, of course, I have my backups, the V1 Fat Shark Dominators, and of course, I can't get rid of it because I got the stash on there. You can't go wrong with that. It just looks too good. So yeah, these two, Walk Snail, I'm really dedicating a lot of my stuff to Walk Snail now just because it's cheaper, it's a lot easier to use, there's firmware stuff, a big community behind it that's actually like helping out, trying to figure out bugs, issues, and all that. So I find that to be very appealing, that we have people that are willing to, test things, get things going, making sure our stuff is good. And of course, like, manufacturers should already have this stuff down, but at the same time, this is a drone hobby where we're always tinkering with things. So I really don't see an issue with people messing with the goggles and adding new features for themselves because that's what they want to do. And if someone else wants to do it, they just got to do it themselves and have fun with it, guys. Just fucking mod the shit out of these. These are fun to do. The mods and all that shit. The controller that I'm using is the Radio Master Boxer Max, along with the TBS Crossfire module in the back because I still have some quads that are connected to Crossfire. But for the most part, I have the internal ELRS all set up on here, and most of my quads fly ELRS now. So yeah, I like both systems. Each work for their own purposes. I use the ceramic antennas for my freestyle quads and all my other quads just because easier. I don't have to have extra antennas and everything, but for my long range ones, I am using Crossfire just because I know it's reliable, it's good, it's going to stay stable. So I'll keep that on those and probably get like Diversity or something soon. Whoops. Other than that, there really isn't anything else I'm using besides like batteries and stuff. Dogcom, I've been using those a lot and find those to be the most reliable batteries out there. Tried like pizzas, I've tried the regular CNHLs, I've tried Ovonics, I've tried some GMBs here and there, some tattoos, and the ones that have stayed like tried and true are the Dogcoms for me. So I'll be getting more of those for sure, and definitely can't wait for those like other like the economic ones I think that are coming out. Hopefully they come to the US soon and stuff because I'm gonna buy a shit ton of those. Well, that's everything that I'm flying this year, and I might fly a couple quads here and there just for funsies and whatnot, or if I go out and fly with friends, bring out some different freestyle quads just because I don't want to mess these ones up. But these are the quads for 2024, and this is my goal for 2024 is to get my Part 107 license and get working on some things here and there. Not a lot of work. I just want some work. I'm not like going balls deep into this stuff. Just sort of like a side hustle. But thanks guys for watching. Like it, subscribe it, all that fun shit. I like, yeah, do that stuff. Yeah. But thank you. Hope y'all have a great week, and I hope y'all keep stay flying, rip them packs, all that stuff, and have a good one. Bye.